let's see the AFC North draft and see what they did. Obviously, the Cincinnati-Bengals, they wouldn't have the guts to not pick Burrow, right?
No, that was about the biggest no-brainer we've had in a long time, Les.
Absolutely. All right, then they take Tee-Higgins, so he's got somebody to throw to, and added 3 linebackers in a row, by the way. So I'm not sure about that, but it looks like they've helped themselves, assuming obviously
they
Burrow.
Sure did. Yeah, I was a big Tee-Higgins guy, by the way, Les. He was a kid that, I was thinking if he had held on to 41 for the Browns, that would have been a perfect guy to get a big playmaker. And yeah, the AFC North, as you're going to go through right now, got a lot better. Not only the Browns, but everybody else in the division did as well.
Well, the Baltimore-Ravens had no problem drafting an Ohio State guy. They take Patrick Queen first with the 28th overall pick. Then they get the number 2 from 2 Buckeyes. They get jk-dobbins and also Malik-Harrison, and they added a couple of wide receivers. So they're not going anywhere soon. They're going to be tough to replace as the division winner of the AFC North. National draft grades were put out by some of the drafting services. Let's take a look at them and see where they put the Browns and some other people. This Pro Football Focus, and the Browns rely heavily on them. A- for the Browns, an A for Cincinnati. Baltimore gets a B, and Pittsburgh, who didn't have a first-round pick, gets a B-. You agree, disagree? Anything pop out at you when you look right at that?
Yeah, boy, it's interesting to see an A+ there next to the Cleveland Browns, isn't it? I have a hard time grading these drafts, to be honest with you, Les. I think you got to wait, 2 or 3 years at least before you can really put a definitive grade on it. But, you mentioned a player before. As an Ohio State fan, watching J.K.Dobbins over the last few years, he just looked like a guy to me who was going to be able to quickly translate to the pro game. And I was just stunned beyond belief that he would slide out of the first round, nonetheless, to all the way to 55, I think it was, where he finally went. So, a real nice player. Then Malik-Harrison was a guy who I think was available when the Browns were up to pick Phillips, and he's a kid that I really thought would do a nice job with Cleveland, only because a little bigger, kind of a run stopper, has to improve in space a little bit. But I thought the Ravens did a really nice job.
Dobbins, I think the problem with him, at least with holding on that long, is the style of play. And I was hearing Harbaugh talk today that he might not have been the guy he wanted or not on their board, but you can't pass up a guy like that, and you find a way to use him. I don't think he fits into the Lamar Jackson way of playing the game, but you got a guy like Dobbins. How do you not take him?
That's what I thought, Les. He was a guy that we saw at Ohio State that could run between the tackles, could get out and catch the swing pass, and had game breaking touchdown scoring ability every time he touched the ball. So that was a real head scratcher for me.
And only Archie Griffin has gained more yards than Dobbins in an Ohio State uniform. All right, let's look at some of the draft grades nationally here. See what they're thinking as they go on. This is from Pete-Prisco of CBS-Sports. Baltimore Ravens get the edge, A over a B- to Cincinnati, B+ rather to Cincinnati, and B- to the Browns, and Pittsburgh with a B. And we continue on. Let's see what else we have to look at. Sports Illustrated, this is Andy Benoit. He's got the Ravens at an A- along with Cincinnati. Cleveland at a B+ and a C for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Benoit explained what he was thinking about. Let's take a look. If Wills pans out quickly, this Browns offense could suddenly meet the expectations that were placed on it a year ago. Quarterback Baker Mayfield will have the protection he lacked last season, and he'll be playing in a smart, quarterback-friendly scheme under new head coach Kevin Stefanski, throwing to a more familiar Odell Beckham and working with the balanced run game headed by Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. Interesting, because last year we didn't worry about Baker Mayfield. We thought coming off his rookie year he had nothing to worry about, and that's kind of changed. The rest of the guys around him look pretty talented.
That's exactly right. I think the tackle situation last year, Les, went from bad to worse as the season went on. They really tried to kind of band-aid that left spot with Greg Robinson, who they'd gotten more than they could have bargained for the year before with him. And then, Hubbard just wasn't getting it done over on the right side. And I think that had a lot to do with the way Baker played, almost kind of, skittishly, if you will. He just wasn't as confident in that pocket. And I think that had a lot to do with what was going on at those tackle spots. And, at this point last week, it was starting to kick up with the Trent Williams rumors, and I am glad that the Browns didn't go that route. I didn't see that being a good fit at this time for this team. You'd be investing in a guy who was 31 going on 32, hadn't played in a year. So I'm kind of glad that they eliminated that and they stuck with their board.
Doug, does